This is Barnstable Today for Monday, April 27th. Welcome aboard. I'm Mark Mumford.
The town's school vacation clamming class for youngsters is our focus today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Friel.
The second and final clamming class of the vacation week took place in ideal conditions on Saturday evening at the Bridge Street Landing in Osterville.
Chris Clark, who oversees shellfishing programs for the town, started the evening off with some basic instructions.
To answer your question, these long-handled rakes will help you go in the water and get quahogs or hard-shell clams. This is a rake actually designed for young people by the rake company. So if you'd like to try it, what you want to do is you take the rake and you draw it through the sand until you hit an obstruction. And when you feel an obstruction, something that's going to stop the rake, you want to scoop it up to see what it is and shake the mud out. That will help you find quahogs. To find steamer clams, you need a shorter handle rake, and your rake will work for both. Yep. And what you usually do is you look for a little hole in the ground, in the wet sand, and you make a little cavity. And if that's where you think the little hole is, then you get the piece of, you get a scoop and lift it over and try to find that animal that made that hole, because he sticks his neck up like a little periscope to breathe and eat. So, but if you go with an adult who has some experience, you'll get an idea of how to do it. We for the town grow young quahogs, and we start with baby tiny quahog seed that looks like sand, and I can pass it around for you to see. That's what we grow. Eventually, after about a year, they get to be about the size of an M&M, and later on into young little necks, which grow into quahogs. Those are all names for the same little animal. You can pass those around. Any other questions?
Do you seed those? Is that what you're doing?
We seed quahogs.
Yeah? Out here? Or
yes.
Where else? Do you do on the other side too?
Mostly in the 3 Bay area, because they're grown in the 3 Bay, in Prince Cove. They start off in Prince Cove in our floating upweller system. So yes, we grow 1 million every year.
Oh, really?
To supplement Mother Nature's propagation. So go ahead and take them all. We'll make more. Shellfish Forum is coming up on May 18th, and that's an evening presentation where we explain the work that we do, and we're available to ask questions about propagation programs, about red tide, about closed areas and bacteria. So anyways, you're welcome to ask any questions, and thank you, Kirsten. That was it's an informative evening, and if there are any it's an opportunity for you to approach us about questions or information that you've been curious about.
We had climbing class for kids, opportunity during school vacation week to come here at low tide and see what the kids can find, bring them in a safe environment. We call our volunteers out, and they help assist the kids to a little bit of one-on-one and enable them to have a little more success at finding today's catch.
Yeah, it looks like you have probably a couple dozen youngsters out here this evening.
Yeah, I can't tell until all the harvest numbers come in.
Gave it an impromptu count. Yeah. It looks like a couple dozen and lots of volunteers. And for one thing, you got lucky. The weather's so nice.
Yep. Well, we were lucky for that. We get what we get at low tide, but it's planned around low tide during school vacation week on legal shellfishing days. So during this week, legal shellfishing days are Sundays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. This particular week, April Patriots Day, falls during this week. It makes an additional opportunity to go.
And what do you hope to accomplish with these type of events?
Well, for one, it provides the parents an activity, outdoor activity for school vacation week when they're usually starving for things to do. But also it brings our young people to the shoreline and gets them to understand the resource and appreciation for the great discovery it is to find young shellfish.
So I guess you'd love to see in years down the line some of these youngsters. I saw there's one youngster down there only 2 years old.
Yeah.
Maybe some of these are the future shellfish folks.
Well, we hope so. Well, if they get to know and appreciate the food source that's in the water, we hope that we're grooming good stewards of our watersheds. So they'll learn that if this is a food source, that it's to be revered.
In the meantime, you gave them a little brief education too on your efforts to nurture quahogs in these
Propagation
waters as well.
program, sure, that helps sustain the populations that they're after.
And what are you must be hopeful for the upcoming season, I would guess?
Yeah, every year, like every farmer, you end up planting, you have high hopes on a good season, and you're subject to the vagaries of the weather, and we'll see how things go. But we have a wonderful volunteer force. Almost every time we call for help, they're out there, whether it's assisting in a teaching environment like this or doing hands-on planting. So actually next week we have some joining us to do a little research in Barnstable Harbor and evaluation of some of the research plots there.
It's quite a tight-knit group, the BARS folks and the other shellfish folks here too.
Right. The BARS group BARS stands for Barnstable Association for Recreational Shellfishers. It's a club that was basically born out of our initial volunteer force. But we have volunteers who are also not BARS members. But we keep in touch with them primarily through email.
And this seems like it'd be a little bit of a challenge logistically. I mean, just getting all the rakes out here and the buckets, and you even have some refreshments so that the youngsters get a little
The refreshments were a treat from the Friends of West Bay, and that was volunteered to us. But the BARS group come and volunteer their time, and we do have to collect some loaner gear so that people who are doing this for the first time have a better chance of being successful with the proper gear.
Debbie, you're sort of at the front lines when you talk to a lot of the folks that dealing with shellfish licenses and that sort of thing.
Correct.
You get a lot of the feedback from people who have taken part in these type of programs in the past. What
Year
do you
after
sense?
year.
What do you sense?
Well, it's interesting. This year we have a couple of people that this is their second year. There's one little boy, this is his third year doing this. And there was one lady that came in on Friday to get her shellfish license. And she said to me the reason she was coming in was because her friend took her daughter on Monday's class. And her daughter heard all about it and wanted to come today. And came over to me just a little while ago and said, I'm here. So the word is getting out, and it's just a fun thing for kids to do. It really is. Get them out in the water and enjoying themselves.
And it's a great activity that families can do together, right?
Absolutely. Well, you can shellfish together, not necessarily on Kids' Day. You can do that whenever.
Sure.
But this is it's a good start, and it's a good thing for kids to say, wait a minute, this is our water, this is our land. We've got to take care of it, and hopefully this is a start for them. And maybe parents will take their kids on other days when it's not Kids' Day. But we're ahead on licenses. We sell a couple of thousand licenses a year. We're, I would say, probably 180 licenses more than last year. I don't know if the word's gotten out that there's shellfish out there, and it's a fun thing to do. It's a good thing.
Absolutely. Well, and as you say, you get that feedback directly, and it
Yes.
must make you feel personally very good when you see the upbeat smiles and that sort of thing.
Smiles. I'm lucky that I'm in an office where people are coming there for good things. They're not coming to pay bills per se. They're coming for a fun thing. Oh, look see, there's another one.
Yeah,
she came.
another happy customer.
You got it. Oh, goody. I'm glad. You go home and do it. See, you can't put a price
No,
on
you
that.
can't.
You
Debbie,
can't
thanks so very much.
You are welcome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Debbie Lavoie is the administrative assistant for the town's Marine Environmental Affairs Department.
Meanwhile, taking a look at the town calendar, the planning board meets this evening at 7 in the hearing room as they continue the public hearing in regard to the Hilton Garden Inn project. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kevin Friel.
We'll meet you right back here tomorrow. I'm Mark Mumford.